Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations if you are a Giants fan. It is an exciting time in New York right now. You know why? When was the last time that the Jets and Giants won a game on the same day? You know what? Who cares about what the Jets did? It doesn't matter. The Giants are 2-0. And what's more impressive about that 2-0 record is that this is the first time that the Giants are 2-0 in 6 years. That means it's been a long time since Giants fans have had a reason to celebrate early in the season. Starting off 2-0 is great. And I always say that it's even better to start off 2-0 when you have a lot of things to improve on. I want y'all to think about this. What this defense is doing, they're doing this without their two best pass rushers, the two guys that they are relying on to be, legitimate, get after the ball type of guys. They don't have those guys. And yet they are still putting the screws to these teams. What I like about what the defense did is they zigged when the Panthers offense thought they were going to zag. I'll tell you what I mean. So the Giants the week before against Tennessee, they struggled to cover backside of the backfield. And a lot of people thought that they struggled to cover backside of the backfield because they couldn't. But the real truth is they weren't worried about the backside of the backfield. They were worried about the running backs running the ball. They were worried about the running backs running. And so when you no longer have to worry about the running backs running, you can focus more of your attention on the running backs out of the backfield. Well, Christian McCaffrey is a lot more dangerous as a pass receiver than he is as a rusher. So do we care that Christian McCaffrey picked up 100+ yards of empty yards today? No. That is exactly what the New York Giants wanted the Panthers to do. They know that Christian McCaffrey in open field is a lot more dangerous than Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. And so they were like, hey, we'll give up this 102 yards on 15 carries, with one of them being a 49-yard run. We'll give up these yards in the running game. We'll allow you to run 23 times for 146 yards because you know what we're not going to let you do? We're not going to let you throw the ball to Christian McCaffrey in open space and allow him to do anything. 5 targets. He had 4 catches for 26 yards. If you think that's the ability that Christian McCaffrey brings to the table, then you've never watched Christian McCaffrey play wide receiver or catch the ball out of the backfield. He's phenomenal out the backfield. It's one of his gifts. His gift, what makes him a matchup nightmare is what he does out the backfield. Check in with Giants Country later. I'll tell you about what Coach Wink's defense did to really shut down Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield, or running backs out of the backfield, because I thought what they did was really, really smart. What they did is they lined up more defensive backs. They said, hey, we're going to have more defensive backs out here, and we're going to have defensive backs checking Christian McCaffrey. And because you've got more defensive backs out there, because you have less linebackers out there, guess what? It's going to be easier to run on us. But you still have Baker Mayfield. So Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, they're like the guy looking at each other, pointing. So you got a guy like we got. We know how to stop our guy. We're going to know how to stop your guy. So that's what they did. They said, hey, Baker Mayfield, you beat us. You beat us. And, of course, Carolina gifted points to the Giants with those first 2 turnovers that the Giants were able to turn into 6 points. And at the end, that's how you won the game. That's how the Giants are sitting here 2-0. Now, there are issues, Giants fans. There are a lot of issues. There are a lot of issues. Number one being that if you're going to be a running team, you need to commit to running the ball at a level that everybody knows, hey, this is can't stop. Yes, they ran for another 100 yards today, but it was a hard fought 100 yards. It was 3 yards in a cloud of dust, 100 yards. It was 33 carries, 103 yards. That's not the type of football that you would expect from a Matt Patricia offense. That's not what you saw in Buffalo. That's not what you saw in Kansas City. What's the problem? What's in Buffalo and what's in Kansas City that's not in New York? We'll talk about that on my Giant issue tomorrow. Make sure you tune in for that. But at the end of the day, this Giants team has to find a way to turn red zone opportunities into touchdowns. Right now, they are getting field goals. And I am sorry. We're getting wins right now, and it's great for Giants fans, and it's great for the Giants because any win in the NFL is a win, right? But if we're talking about wanting to be able to compete, because why would you not want to compete? If we're talking about wanting to be able to compete, the Giants are going to have to turn red zone opportunities into touchdowns. And right now, they're just not doing that. They're just not turning red zone opportunities into touchdowns. And until they begin turning these red zone opportunities into touchdowns, it's going to be difficult. You're going to be in all of these 1 point, 2 point, these types of games that swing one way or another depending upon the weather. You have to be able to put touchdowns on the board. You've got to be able to put touchdowns on the board, especially if you're playing some of these teams out of the NFC East. Those teams on the outside, if you got to go up against a Miami, if you got to, I don't even look forward, but let's take a quick look ahead at the New York Giants and their schedule going forward, because there's a good chance you're going to face some offenses that this is not going to work against. 10-16 when you play the Ravens, you're going to have to put up touchdowns. The Cowboys found a way to win. They're still going to be right? You know who the quarterback is. The Bears, they're improved, right? The Bears are improved. You may have to put some points up. The Packers, you're going to have to put some points up. That's in London, I believe. The Ravens, you're going to have to put some points up. The Jaguars, they're improved. You're going to have to put some points up. The Seahawks, surprise, surprise, you're going to have to put some points up. Texans, who knows? The Lions, you're going to have to put points up. Commanders, who knows? But the Eagles, you're going to have to put points up. The Vikings, you're going to have to put points up. Then the Eagles again, you're going to have to put points up. Colts, who knows? Right? So there are going to be times where 19-16, you can't just keep waiting. You can't just keep relying on your defense to be all world and bail you out, because that's how you win games. That's how you lose games that you're supposed to win. New England beat Pittsburgh 17-14. You want to know what the problem there was? Pittsburgh not putting touchdowns on the board. Not putting touchdowns on the board, right? So everybody has to deal with it. Tampa Bay beat New Orleans 20-10. What was the problem? New Orleans couldn't put touchdowns on the boards early. They got desperate. Jameis Winston throws 3 picks. That's what happens. That's what happens. Like, you can't just keep relying on the defense to bail you out time after time after time after time. At some point, you've got to be the impetus for the success of the team. For the success of the team. What happens if you can never get into a situation where you allow this defense to play in the way Wink Martindale really wants this defense to play, which is Go and get the quarterback. So they got to keep working. But I swear there's nothing better than working over stuff off of a win. As a coach, I know we had a hard-fought win 2 weeks ago. We got another hard-fought win this week. When you go back into these meeting rooms and you speak with the players, you tell them, hey, it was a great win, but we got stuff to clean up. And they're more receptive when they're making mistakes or they're not getting it done, but they're still winning. And so that's the part that you can be really excited about. This defense has so much room to grow. The defense has so much room to grow, and they still don't have their two best pass rushers. The offense has so much room to grow. Ladies and gentlemen, Saquon Barkley's back. It was a hard-fought 72 yards. It was a hard-fought 72 yards. But he was getting yards when necessary. He was running the ball hard. Daniel Jones rushing the ball 10 times is not going to be good if all he's going to get out of that is 21 yards. I don't know what's going on with the receiving core and why Richie James is getting 6 targets and other receivers are not getting more. I don't know what Kadarius Toney has to do in order to get the ball into his hand more to be able to make something happen. But whatever position they're putting Richie James in, they could put Kadarius Toney in that same position, and I want to believe he would have more success because he's more dynamic. As dynamic as Richie James is, don't get me wrong, I like Richie James. As dynamic as he is, I don't think he's more dynamic than Kadarius Toney. So if he's not more dynamic, then why? And I think we need some clarity. We see Shepard out here getting 10 targets. That's great. Right? We see Bellinger only get 1 target. He's your number 1 tight end. How is he only getting 1 target? How is Saquon Barkley only getting 4 targets in this game? It's either the coach's fault or it's the quarterback's fault. I think it's great to have these conversations on wins because it makes it better conversation, right? Because we know if we do these things better, if we're 2-0 without doing these things well, imagine what will be if we start doing these things well. As a fan, that's how you got to think about these things. As a team, that's how you have to think about these things. You can tell I have no voice left. It's been a fantastic. I hope you enjoyed the games. I hope you enjoy all the content. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel for all of my Giants-specific content. Make sure that you follow my articles on giantscountry.com. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms @Gene Clemens. Until next time, go Big Blue.